From what I can remember, my childhood was pretty damn fantastic. We weren't spoiled, we just felt entitled to the gifts and birthday parties that we thought we earned. We were kids, so obviously we didn't consider the possibility that we would put our parents into financial struggle by wanting every single toy and knickknack that we got our eyes on. Now, thank God that we never got close to doing that, but the thought of sparing something that we wanted instead of basking in the moment at hand was basically non existent. Now, years later, we adopted my sister Christina from Russia when she was already 13 years old. Since Christina was raised in an entirely different background and culture, sharing an experience off of a tangible item just wasn't going to cut it. Even though we didn't speak the same language at the time, we could tell that she didn't think it was necessary, or even practical for that matter. We all had to start making small sacrifices, like eating less at the dinner table, sharing our already puny allowances, or sharing a portion of our bedroom and our bathroom. In daily outings, instead of going to the movies or the King of Prussia Mall, we started going to the dog park or simply enjoying a nice walk. Now, Christina taught us all a lot of things, but the one thing that really stuck into our family mold was how we had to learn how to be content. I wish I earned this earlier in life, but now we didn't have to purchase an experience. As long as we were happy with being in each other's presence, that's all that mattered. Christina truly bridged and insulated our family closer together. Now fast forward to last November, when we found out Christina was getting married in San Juan, at a five-star resort called the Grand Melia. I had my issue with the Grand Melia, but what surprised me the most was how much my family was unnecessarily spending money. It was only our first day at the resort, and the Grand Melia already had my family under a money-spending trance. The food, alcohol, spa, and the room services were all extremely expensive, but no one in my family cared. Everyone was just carelessly blowing away money. When Christina became a part of our family, she made us realize to just bask in the moment and that money shouldn't affect our level of happiness. But it was, and I just wondered how much my family would have enjoyed the trip if the money wasn't even there in the first place. Since Christina was raised in an orphanage most of her life, I figured she would have understood my frustration, but she seemed to be blinded by the resort almost more than anybody. Since she was the bride-to-be, I just kept my thoughts to myself. I just figured she would want to spend this valuable time with her family, instead of walking around the resort and looking which way she could spend her money next. Personally, I couldn't help but feel like a selfish kid again whenever the resort wanted to meet an accommodation of mine. I didn't want my family to relapse into our old ways like when we were younger. I wanted to enjoy Puerto Rico and our first wedding as a family, but everybody else seemed content with just doing their own thing. Instead of formulating our plans as a family, they just followed wherever the money took them, and consequently, the only times we were together were dinner and the actual wedding itself. Now, the wedding was great, but I couldn't help and feel that our family was robbed of a true bonding experience that only comes once in a lifetime. Or, well, should only come once in a lifetime. I couldn't help but notice that most of my family members were getting annoyed or frustrated when they didn't really get what they wanted at the resort. What happened to being content as long as we had each other? What happened to learning from the less privileged and their experiences? I tried to think of a solution to this problem, a natural way that my family could realize that they were looking at the wedding the completely wrong way. And then it came to me. When Christina joined our family, her diverse culture and less privileged lifestyle introduced new humanity and understanding into our family. So I figured we could go and attempt to do the same with the Puerto Rican locals. I figured we could just walk around San Juan and ask everybody about their day-to-day lives. Since my sister spoke Spanish, this wouldn't be a problem. And I figured maybe, just maybe, it would help my family realize that they were looking at this trip the entirely wrong way. So I was excited, but my attempt to revive the true meaning of this trip was squashed by the Grand Melia when I found out we weren't able to leave the resort's territory. Figuring it was just for our safety, No one in my family was interested in fighting this inconsiderate rule. If you couldn't have already guessed, at the end of this trip I was disappointed in a couple of things. I hated the resort for not laying us outside their territory. It robbed my family from fully immersing ourselves into a less privileged culture, a process that was extremely effective and life-changing for us the first time. I was disappointed in my family's disinterest in exploring another culture, but also how much money they spent so they could feel like the experience in Puerto Rico was fulfilling and successful. I was just bummed out because I figured this trip could have been much more influential than it actually turned out to be. I just wondered why the hell the resort wanted to rob us of a learning experience when it was so fruitful for everyone involved in our family the last time. The rest of the trip was fun, but once it was over, I just felt like we walked away learning the wrong lesson. Or really not even learning one at all, for that matter. Will my family ever realize my disappointment? Probably not. Will I hold it against them? No, I definitely won't. I just have to realize I'm the anchor of the family, and that I have to be there for my family next time they want to fall in the same trap.